See, if we do not have that access to some sort of calm, I'm not even talking about awakening right now. Not even talking about awakening. Awakening makes this more obvious, but it doesn't necessarily sort of, well, it definitely doesn't guarantee it. I'm just talking about sort of a place inside where there's some sort of inner reference. A reference for peace and sanity, maybe even well-being, within yourself. Not within somebody else. Not within the guru or the teaching or somebody 2,000 years or yesterday, but within yourself. Just some sort of reference to a state of clarity, of well-being, of calm. And as I said, it's not something we create, it's something we begin to notice is there. But of course, calm and peace and clarity aren't very noisy. It's not like anger, resentment, and jealousy, right? Those are noisy emotions. If you have those in you, you don't have to go looking very far for them, do you know? They're very obvious. But these other qualities are much softer, much more quiet. In many ways, I think that retreat is potent or powerful to the extent that you just give yourself to it. That's also a kind of leap of faith, kind of trust, just to give yourself to it. There's a capacity within our awareness that's capacity of clarity. Now, as soon as you come into awareness, you may not have opened up the capacity for clarity within awareness. Just like when you first experience awareness, you may not experience a sense of happiness and well-being that's part of awareness. But that's just because when we first come into it, we're just discovering the exterior layers of it, you might think. Like if you get to know somebody, you may get to know them, but for a while, you're really more getting to know their surface layers of who they are. You get to know them much better, much, much, much later. And there are similarities with awareness too. There are these capacities for clarity and well-being, the sense of sort of sacredness, and of course down to connectedness and unity and much more. But these are not qualities that are necessarily obvious always amongst the first brush with awareness itself. It requires you to kind of stick with it. Does that make sense? Just stick with it. I know it sounds simple. But sometimes you just stick with something and then the certain qualities that are inherent with it start to come out. There are great qualities within awareness that when they start to be evoked, they start to awaken in you. Basically, then you use awareness as you just put awareness on something and you hold it there, and just by holding awareness on something, you come to understand it with great clarity, without even trying to understand it, with no sort of deductive logical process necessarily, but there is a wisdom component to awareness. Awareness isn't just like sort of a flashlight beam with no intelligence at all, except to just illuminate wherever you point it. That's not what awareness is at all. Awareness is highly intelligent. It's also highly interactive because it's in the deepest sense connected with everything that arises, everything we experience, everything we perceive is part of it. So often we have to sort of spend time abiding in sort of the natural state of our awareness for these qualities to start to come online, to start to become available. The qualities like wisdom. All of a sudden you'll notice your awareness has a kind of wisdom in it, but it's not the wisdom of collected experience like your mind can have, which can be useful wisdom. It's not the kind of wisdom of thoughts and ideas. It's a other kind of intuitive, extremely precise sort of wisdom. Not only wisdom, but within awareness is this extraordinary capacity for connectedness and love. Again, when you first experience awareness, you may not experience that at all. It may not be part of what's immediately evoked or comes online with you. But these are also qualities of awareness: connectedness, unity, deep, sort of profound, existential kind of intimacy, the intimacy with all things, the unity with existence. This is also part of what becomes available with a real deep abiding as awareness.